I would
So
love to
And
take it away
even
from there.
yeah, so in this segment, we're gonna talk about like the top 10 alien counters of 2022. So let's watch a couple minutes of this
Hold on,
video.
hold on. I want to give it a little. I want to give a
All
little
right,
background
all
on
right,
this.
go ahead.
So, one of the off like, sorry, my kids are behind me. There's like a little door. I put this background so you can't see the cage. And I'm just kidding. They're not in a cage. But one of the really cool things that have always been very intriguing to me. I've listened to it in podcasts, like just through time of like hearing encounters and stuff like that pop up. Aliens has been a super interesting topic to me. And like going back to like, like old sci-fi movies with my grandma and then just like the perception of how they look like being the little green man and the flying saucer previously being called UFOs and now what is it called? UAPs on it what is it unexplained or unidentified something phenomena
Yeah,
UAP
yeah,
or whatever it's called now.
yeah.
And
Whatever they're fucking doing.
it's been such a cool thing for me to like follow just in my short time here on Earth, and like how it's like I feel like now recently, and let me know if you guys agree with this, but I feel like it has changed so dramatically in recent times, like to be called UFO and then the name to change to UAP, and then before 2017, like the U.S. government denied studying any like
Yeah,
UFOs, any of that. Like that didn't just exist in like the US, at least the US government's perspective. But then it changed in 2017. I thought that was really, really weird. That and 2017, and then even more recently, the Pentagon releasing information being like, "Hey, like there is stuff outside this world," and you're like,
yeah.
"What the heck? Like, what are you
There,
talking about? Like,
like, there's some weird
why
shit.
now? Like, why now?" So like
dude,
okay, there's a couple of things like why did the government deny everything and then out of nowhere they go there's some things we can't explain that maybe and I think in and someone can correct me down the road but like I'm not an expert but somebody's I believe the government said they are not from this earth, which is crazy to me that like a
Yeah,
US official will say that.
yeah.
So I sent you a clip because in time like it was previously explained like right you got the little green man there in the flying saucer but like the more from like military pilots and all this stuff like they're explaining like it's like a sphere, right? Like they're saying like these are like circular objects that they're seeing that aren't meeting the characteristics of what we previously knew.
Yeah.
And I found a clip that I wanted you to show for those who are watching us on Facebook or have Wi-Fi and are watching us on Spotify to see the video version. Like this is what is matching some of like the very common reports is like a sphered object, and then a little background on the video that you saw. Like so, previous countries like they have a lot of matched and a lot of more open discussions on how aliens or UFOs or like these crafts that they're using to fly around and is being circular. And I found more and more recently, like they're finding videos and they're accepting this. Can you hear that in the background?
No.
Okay, good. They have like that little like thing on the back of the door. Everyone knows. I don't know what it's called, but you just
Yeah,
flick it and it goes boy, 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 boy.
yeah.
My
the
son's
door
just
stopper.
slapping. Yeah, okay, yeah. Like but the door stopper. My son is
Yeah.
just smacking the shit out of that, and my
It's
wife is doing nothing about it, knowing we're
part of
recording a
being
podcast.
a dad, dude. It's all right, dude.
But and I would I before like I want to show the video, a little background about
All
it
right,
before, and then I want to give a personal encounter that I want to talk about, a story that I want to
all
mention
right.
that like before each segment. So background on the video. This is a video. So we're like 2 minutes into a video I sent you.
Yeah,
Previously the first video was like matched descriptions of like circular objects in Chile, and now this one's going into I think Russia, and it's all like all the verbal reports are the same, and now some of the sightings that we're seeing online are the same. And I want to get you guys' opinion on what you think. So
all
whenever
right,
you're ready, Rob, that's the background of the video.
all right. Yeah, let's jump into the first segment. Then we'll watch the clip and just tell me when to stop because it's like 57 minutes. So let me know when we need to.
Just the German section. I want you to just want I want people who are um who are watching, not listening, to be able to see, and then we'll describe what we see as well. But I
All
want to
right,
see
yeah.
like what you think from this video, because to me, I watched the full 57-minute video. This is what I do
Alright.
in some of my free time.
Yeah.
I like, to me, I'm like, dude, this is like, how is there this many reports from like 60 years ago describing this?
Yeah.
Some of them described them as the saucer, and like, you
Yeah.
have your everyone who makes a story to get their 15 minutes of fame, but like
All right.
this same report matches what we're seeing today. And then Russia, they captured it. What do you think?
All right, cool. Yeah, let's jump into the first clip. Just let me know when to stop, Nick. And we might get an ad here because I'm cheap. And let's go. Let's see if it.
Yeah.
Let's
Now
see
we'll
if
just
it-
edit that out. Don't worry about
South
it.
America. Now, other parts
Yeah.
of the
So
world
Germany. Okay.
are
Here we
also
go.
starting to disclose information about
Look at this.
UFOs. Governments are
Oh,
openly
okay, so there's
investigating
Russia.
encounters
Look,
reported
look,
by
look at those
civilians
things, dude.
and military personnel.
What do you think of that? It's like
But
three
many
circular
researchers
objects
believe
just
the most
slowly.
noteworthy country to join this international
Yeah,
effort is also one of the most skeptical.
Now pause it right there. Pause it. I
Japan.
just want to see the image. Just throw it back, rewind it. Again, everyone who's listening at home, this is like this footage of like three circular objects. And I sent you, Rob, also a link. I didn't share the link on Instagram, but it was like something like a pilot who was flying that had an encounter like this, really close encounter.
I mean,
But
all right. So just to.
what do you think? No biased opinion.
I'm
What do you
not.
think?
I can't expand it, Mikey, because it'll take up.
Try pressing Control and then the like arrow up key. You do Control and arrow in when you're clicking.
It like kind of
It should
fast
zoom
forward.
in.
Yeah, don't hold on.
There you go. See?
All right, that's.
Bing bong.
All right, so I'm
So
looking.
rewind it again. Let's watch it again. One
No,
more
no.
time.
I'm looking at. So I'm looking at these three dots, right? And so
Mhm.
this is what 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when was Elon doing the whole Starlink thing? That's all.
I don't know.
That's my.
I don't know.
That's my first thought on this.
Are
right?
those satellites circular?
I mean, for those who are listening, I'm looking at a picture.
It looks-
a picture
it
of the
looks like
moon with
nothing.
like three dots.
Looks like 3 poppy seeds on the moon.
All right.
The
But
most
like they're
noteworthy
moving
country
in
to join
tandem.
this international
I mean, not really in
effort
tandem,
is
but
also
close
one of the
proximity.
most skeptical.
Bro, there's so many
Japan.
military operations going on in all these other countries as well as
know.
ours. Like, I'm sure it's some classified thing. You know
Maybe.
that it's classified. Period. And then if it's not, cool. But there is no evidence. There's folklore of them. We see them
Yeah.
in movies and stuff. But
Yeah.
I personally believe that angels and demons and like fallen angels are aliens.
It's like
Mm.
circular. There's like a shape of a plate.
Like
But, like-
circular?
but,
No,
like,
I'm not
the-
talking about a UFO or like a moving vehicle. I'm talking about in general, like if there were to be aliens or anything, I believe it to be angels.
All right, let's keep going.
In 2018,
So that for me,
the
like I don't know, that was just one example, right? Like I just wanted you to see like that is one of many, many examples that exist on the internet. Like it's been a growing thing, like the US government who's denied any research, any like acknowledgement towards something, and then again like stating, hey, like these things are not from this earth. Which is a crazy statement, and I may be misquoting it. Don't quote me. I'm not an expert, but from what I recall, that was something that they said, and to me, like that gives a little bit of validation. And then even more recently, for those of you who haven't viewed it, like Joe Rogan talking to Donald Trump on his most recent podcast, he specifically asked him about UFOs or UAPs, and then his answer wasn't direct, like, hey, because they showed him, like, I guess files, like when he took presidency, they showed him the JFK stuff, they showed him like all these classified documents, and then he goes and says, like, indirectly never answering the question and disconfirming, and he almost more leads into the hey, yeah, like could be a possibility
Elon
without
Musk
saying
said?
it, you know what I'm saying?
What did Elon say?
Elon said that he doesn't see any evidence of aliens, and that he said exactly what I just said, that it was like probably just some like military thing, because even though they might have like interviewed the fighter pilots who's seen it, you know what I mean, if those
Yeah.
fighter pilots don't have like clearance to know what's going on, like why, you know what I mean? Why would they be told? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but like also like more recently, like I understand like our way of detecting these things. Like it's kind of
I'm
hard.
open
Okay.
minded, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? If I go outside in the morning, pick a lemon off the tree, and I see a green dude, like,
I mean, when it
you know,
comes
I'm not
when
like,
it
come on,
when it
I'll
comes
believe that.
when it comes to when it comes to aliens, the only thing I could think of is like an old sci-fi uh, show that was on. I forget the name of the show, but essentially it was the gist of the episode was the episode was called "How to Serve Human," and the aliens essentially come to Earth, and all the humans are like, "Oh, dude, this is so great! Like all these aliens are here to serve us." And
Mhm.
it's a Twilight. It was a Twilight Zone. It was a Twilight
Yeah,
Zone.
Twilight Zone. I've
Yeah,
been trying to. Yeah,
yeah, it was a Twilight Zone episode, and the episode
But an
was
old film.
it's in black and white, so it's kind of old. You know,
Yeah.
I am 36, so I have seen.
I mean, that was getting there when we were a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and essentially,
Mhm.
I remember watching this episode with my grandma, and I'm just like, it was super interesting because the episode was called "How to Serve Human," and the aliens come to Earth. They're super nice to humans. They're like, cleaning their clothes, cooking their food, and then they offer to the humans, hey, you can come on our ship. We're gonna take you to our planet. And all the humans are like, oh yeah, that'd be great. So they get like 50 to 100 humans to come on their ship, and then like this skeptical female is like, dude, don't go on their ship. This isn't a good idea. You don't know where the hell they're going. And then like all the people are like, nah, you're freaking crazy. And then like as they're all getting on the ship, the female like finally interprets what their language is, and they're like, hey, she's like, hey, the Bible or the guide that they brought to Earth that was how to serve her humans. She's like, it's a cookbook, and then they
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
and they're
about.
like,
It
oh
just came back to me. I know what movie you're
yeah,
talking
and they're
about.
like, oh shit, it's a cookbook. They're how to
Yep.
serve human is like they're gonna eat us, and then like,
Yep.
but by then it's too late. They're already on the
Too
ship.
late.
The alien ship
Dinner's
takes off.
served. Dinner is ready to
Yeah,
be
and
served.
this guy is like, oh, dude, I can't. Like, he's like starving himself. He refuses to eat, and then he finally gives in and starts eating the food. And so, like, yeah, they're trying to plump you up, dude. So, dude, I don't know, man. I've seen so many sci-fi movies when it comes to aliens, and like,
Hmm.
that'll be
That
a
could taint your. It almost makes you biased, and
yeah.
in that, like growing up around it. You know what I mean? Like you have this expectation, this vision, or what things are supposed to look like, and like we're seeing things that we can't explain right now. Like our radar technology specifically is improved in the U.S. military like significantly, and that like if in the past couple of years, like
Yeah,
with the balloons being detected, what like plus 40,000 feet,
yeah.
like that's kind of substantial. Like these things have, or they're believing have been already been just floating around. Like it's not a new thing. We're just able to detect it now. You know what I mean?
I'm just skeptical because there's so much stuff in space, right? Like we've been throwing satellites into there's this acronym called FIS, which is free space, ionosphere, stratosphere, troposphere. We've been throwing satellites into space for like since like the 60s, right? So what is the odds that you're looking into space and the moon is highlighting an object that could possibly be either a satellite or a satellite that's been decommissioned, that is no longer in commission, and you're just looking at a piece of garbage that nobody's using anymore, or you're looking at a piece of technology that people have been using for like the last 40 years. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. I don't know if you could see it with the naked eye. Maybe, I mean, the moon does get pretty big sometimes, and cameras are getting pretty good.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I just think it's so
how am
frustrating.
I supposed to measure how am I supposed to measure how far the moon is like from me? You know, do I Just
And cheeseburgers, like every good
do I
American.
start swimming through the air and the
Yeah,
Not
that-
the
aliens up
metric
to the
system.
moon?
Yeah, listen, all right.
Yeah,
Listen, I've had plenty of cheeseburgers, right? I'm an American, all right?
Can you explain this to me in Chevy Silverados? How far is it?
It's about 55,000 Chevy Silverado.
times I got to fill up my Chevy?
I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm just skeptical because like I've been around for 36 years. I haven't seen any sort of other life that's as smart as us. And to be honest, if there was smart life that was observing us, why the fuck would they come to Earth?
Bro, it's
We-
probably in the ocean. No joke.
Well, my
Yeah,
thought my
maybe.
thoughts are this on the matter is that we have eaten or fucked anything on this earth.
Whoa.
Like
Whoa.
like that's true. Like if there's
Speak for yourself, brother.
Yeah, bro.
whoa, no, but for real, everything on this earth.
What are you doing on your off time? Jesus Christ.
like there's intelligent life.
Yeah, pop off.
I'm a married man.
There's here's my point though. There's currently intelligent life on this earth, whether it's whales, dolphins,
Nick.
like there's so much intelligent life on this earth, and we kill and eat all of it. Like octopuses are like
I'm not Chinese. What are you talking
well,
about?
I'm just saying octopuses are incredibly intelligent, and like we eat them. Like they're delicious, and they're what's up, Hudson? Like they are like
He's saying hello.
Buddy.
like octopuses are intelligent, incredibly intelligent, and we sit there and eat them. Like so, if I was an alien and I'm looking at this planet from space, I'd be like, dude, I'm not going down there.
Yeah, but like, think about this.
They're gonna eat me.
Think
They're
about
gonna
this.
try and fuck me. I don't want to go down there. Like I
Listen.
wouldn't even touch that.
Are aliens thick?
That's true.
Do you guys think that they kind of indoctrinated us, right? So do you think that they indoctrinated us with the movies they put out as well?
like
To kind
Dude.
of get us ready for like tales that might
Save
be
that
true?
for the conspiracy episode, brother.
yeah? All right, let's continue with this clip.
I have one. I want to share the story. I want before we move on
Yeah.
segments. I want to
Yeah.
share the story. So the reason why I'm really passionate about like unexplained life or experiences that could potentially be around UFOs does not only derive from just growing up around my grandma and her like really big interest into sci-fi.
Yeah.
I personally, Boy Scouts honor. What is it? This is Star Trek. What is
Yeah.
the Boy Scouts honor? Had an experience that I can't explain in my
Yeah.
life.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What you got?
So there I was, a young chap, right? Mother recently divorced, looking for a substantial mate, and she meets this man.
Peter,
I'm not going to say his name. Let's say it rhymes with Glenn. That's his name. He owns a sailboat.
Georgia.
Fuck you, Glenn. So
Okay.
he had this catamaran, right? I think it was a catamaran. It wasn't a trimaran. He was like, hey, like trying to do like some like weird bonding thing. Like we should get out on the boat. I got some projects around the boat. I'm like, I don't know. 17. No. It's pre like dad dying in between the divorce. So I think I was probably like 16 years old. He's like, hey, like if you want to earn some extra cash, you're in high school, like help me work on my boat. You can help me sand things. And that's, dude, the path of going into the Coast Guard can never be more clear. I'm already sanding stuff, so easy, good non-rate in the Coast Guard. But so he says to me, he's like, I'll get you a job, cool. But then he's like, hey, I want to do the sailing trip from Oceanside, California to Catalina Island, which is just off the coast of California for people who are inclined of the U.S. geometry, but or geometry, yeah, squares, patterns. So we go and we take this, and my sister is on this trip. She can vouch for this. You can speak to her. I don't know her beliefs on this, but she did also encounter this. My mom encountered this. I wouldn't trust that source too much. Just kidding. I love you, Mom. But we took this sailing trip, and we had this is what I can remember from it. We were sailing, and it's a couple-day adventure where it's not like you leave in a few hours, you're there. Like it was an overnight trip, right?
All right.
We left, and during that time when we were sailing, sometime in the middle of the night, right? We're in the middle of the ocean in between these 2 points, and it's a vast, like, transit. When it was like the middle of the night, there's no sound, there's no like lights, nothing, and the boat just becomes immediately illuminated, right? Bright light to where it's almost daylight. And there's like no like listen, I'm in the Coast Guard. I've heard plenty of helicopters. I've literally, with my parents both being in the Navy, like dad, like we've lived on military bases. I know what aircraft sounds like, and it was non-existent.
Huh.
And then just lights us up, and everyone's just like, what the heck? And we're just like, and then it just is gone.
Wow.
Nothing. And we're just like, what was that? But like
have you seen those? Have you seen? There's actually these satellites that can be called. Say you have a blackout and you need light in a certain area.
Huh.
They have a satellite that'll position, and it takes the sun ray and it beams it down, and it's like a big. It'll like light up. Like special ops, they need light in an area or something.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they use flares for that.
I'm
No, I know what you're talking about, Mikey. Yeah, no,
Pull
you're.
it up,
I'm not
Jamie.
aware. I'm not aware of that. Hey, Jamie, pull it up.
All right,
Cheney?
keep talking. I'll look it up.
But for me, okay, so this is fuck, man. I mean, I'll be 32 in July, so this was. I mean, I was 16 years old. This is like, did that technology exist like 13 years ago, 14 years ago?
Yeah, just
Whatever
to
the
have, like,
math
your
is?
fishing boat. You know what I mean?
No, like a catamaran, and that this isn't like, so for me to believe like a random satellite would light us up, like this isn't like an uncommon transit from going from the West Coast, off the coast of California, and then going to Catalina Islands, a very common, very like high trafficked thing that people do. You know what I mean? So for me to go like, yeah, this is a satellite, but I don't know. I mean, I'm up to hear any sort of like potential what this could be, but this was something for me, and this is what kind of sparked my interest in aliens and like potential possibilities. I mean, this kind of led to alien stuff, but like I don't know. It's just for me. It seems kind of weird to have that individual experience. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything fly away when the light went off. I mean, that may be because of night vision, and a bright ass light is literally making nighttime be daytime. But just for it to illuminate us and then just be gone.
Have you seen
I don't know.
Have you seen the Starlight or Starlink satellites trains?
Starlink wasn't inexistent, by the way.
No, I'm just saying they look. I mean, I don't know. It might be that video that we saw. It might just be space junk, like Rob said.
Who knows?
I'm just saying, yeah, no, I'm not referencing that video. I'm talking just specifically in my own like personal experience. Like that's something that I had encountered, and that's why I think it is a cool topic to talk about, and something that I like to I'm interested in looking up in my free time, in my leisure days.
I mean, it's definitely possible. I know what.
Like, what do you think? What do you think of that? What do you think it could be? Like you said, potential like space special ops satellite. What do you think that could have been?
I'm kind of
not a helicopter.
I'm kind of leaning on what Mikey was kind of referencing. I know I saw a story and heard a couple podcasts talk about how there is this new potential industry where
new. The keyword is
right,
new.
Right, but like maybe they were doing testing back when when you had your experience, but essentially,
what about grandma's story? Grandma has a similar story when they were living in the Coachella Valley, and this is like I couldn't tell you the date they moved there, but way back in the day.
Well, hold on, before we get into that story, essentially the company that Mikey was referencing is a company that provides light. It could be like 2 a.m, pitch black, and you could pay this company to go, hey, I want sunlight on my garden right now. It's 2 a.m. I'll pay you whatever the money costs.
You send them the coordinates.
Yeah, you send them the coordinates on your phone, and essentially it just goes, wow, there's some fucking
it's
light.
A local
yeah, I don't know.
area will be highlighted.
The equivalent of like moonlight, right? And so
I can't even find that video. I've seen it.
This was not moonlight. This was daylight.
I'm talking straight daylight.
Like a beam of sun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what this company does. And I can't seem to find the link.
I can't find the company or the thing right now. I'm looking everywhere.
No, it's
okay. not going into the
Okay,
story in detail,
sure,
but like grandma's story of
what's
like
grandma's story? Yeah, go ahead.
similar experience. They're driving down. I don't. So I think what's the highway? The 10,
Grandma
right,
Judy?
Mikey? Yeah, Judy. What's it? We're gonna have her on the podcast.
I-10, yeah.
So
I-10.
she's going down the I-10 didn't exist then. It's like this little back road. Like this is like
Yeah,
our
fly
grandparents,
over
like
the
way
top.
back in the day, having a very similar
Down
story of them
by the
driving,
Quinta.
and then like no, it's like what's that off road? Like off the 10, you know what I'm talking about? Like
I don't know, 5,
it's
7,
right off the
76.
side of the right off the freeway, Mikey. You know what I'm talking about?
Like
People always
the
go.
like
It's like the little side road that's like
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 Whitewater
right
or
next to the
whatever?
highway. Anyways, whatever the name of
Whitewater?
it is. So
The
streets like that, but without the freeway
Dinah
there,
Shore?
it's pitch black. Stars are super
Oh,
bright.
Portola? Yeah.
No, not Patrol. Like it's literally
Yeah,
like it's
what
adjacent to the freeway.
whatever.
She had an experience, and I would like to. If I don't know if she remembers the story, but like I remember hearing this as a kid, and she said that they back in the day, dude, back in the day, had their car illuminated and just like, and they're driving.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a still light, like it's following them, and then just same thing, gone. Like doesn't like there's no like sound, there's no like anything. They're just like they like stop their car and they're like looking around, like what was that?
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
Talk to her about that.
there's always some weird stuff, and we can definitely dive into further detail on that.
Mhm.
But if we've got nothing else, I'm gonna probably wrap this up and maybe move on to the next segment here. I know Mikey wanted to talk about maybe some of Grandma's experiences here with